So I think we are
Okay.
good to start. Just let
Yes, we
me
can
get
start.
my trackpad and my pen.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I'll just connect my
Yes.
trackpad, just my writing pad. Okay, I found my pen. Okay. Where is my whiteboard? Okay, it's here.
I'm gonna go muted. I will have small noise background, but it will stop. Then I will come back on.
Uh, it's noise from my end.
I will I will mute just for a while. It's for a few minutes because I will have small noise, so I don't want to Then once it stop, I will unmute. Is that
I'm
okay?
sorry, I didn't quite get you.
So I want to mute because I will have noise. I will have small noise.
Okay, okay, okay. No
Yeah,
issues.
I will,
So
yeah,
whenever I'm asking questions, just make sure to unmute yourself and
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
so new whiteboard. Okay, okay, sorry, I haven't shared my screen. Okay, guys, is my screen visible to you? Just let me know. Allow.
Not yet. No screen not visible yet.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Andini, what about you?
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay, then we are good to go. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about the SOC rules, right? SOC rules and the SOC models we were about to talk today. So we talked about, okay, let me pull up my other whiteboard. Let's go home. Untitled. We had, okay, possibly not this one. This one, right? Okay, we were in the SOC manager part, right? So we had a few more roles to go. I'll just pull up the other tab. It's here. Okay. So last day, what did we learn? There is a guy who works as a SOC analyst. Just one second. Okay. And the other guy works as a SOC manager,
Yeah,
right? Now we have someone who is called as a threat hunter. Okay.
today we have threat hunter.
Yes. What does a threat hunter do now? Any guesses from the name?
Threat modeling.
So, no, not threat modeling. Basically, this is the Wireshark guy, as we can call him.
Ah, okay.
Why is the Wireshark guy? He is going to aggressively. Is there double G in aggressive? AGRE, right?
Yeah, yeah,
AGRESSIVELY. I hope I'm writing the correct
yeah.
spelling. Yeah. So aggressively, he is going to look for active threats. Okay, within the network. We have SOC guys for external network traffic, right? But for internal network traffic, we have this threat hunter guy who is basically handling the Wireshark. Like we have this tool, right? Wireshark I showed you last day.
Yeah.
So it looks something like this, and it's blue. Okay, I'm not a great artist, but that's all. Okay, so he looks aggressively for any kind of threats that is present in the network. Why so? Because since we have a security operations center, we need to make sure that our internal and external, both the networks are secure. Let's say at some point of time, an APT. You know about APT?
Advanced persistence threat.
Yes. So what these guys do, they basically try to leech in into your network and will stay silent for years, let's say. Okay. And then when no one is suspicious about them, they'll crawl within the network trying to infect every kind of data that is present, or basically they will try to hit you with a ransomware attack. Right. So this is where the Wireshark guy or the threat hunter guy comes in. He looks for advanced threats within the network. Okay. And he use standard detection tools like he will use Wireshark, he will use MITM proxy, he will use other tools like what are the other tools? He might use InMap, he might use syslog, he might use might be syslog. Then there is the watchdog. There are many tools, so you can use either of them. Okay, any doubts in this one?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just wipe it. Then I'll go on to the next job role, which is the incident responder. Okay, what is an incident responder?
Incident responder.
Yep, he is
So
based. Yeah, go on.
is it the person that inv- is it the what is it called again?
The act of taking
responsible.
measures for
Yes,
detected incident or
he is the guy who takes measures.
Okay, okay.
mm,
Okay, how does he do that? Basically, he responds to all the incidents that has taken place. You remember I talked about some guy named the triager, who, let's say, if you find any bug, you report to the triager and he fixes it, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, if you find any kind of issue in the network, the incident responder is the guy who is going to take safe measures. Like he is going to do all the containment, eradication, recovery action, everything this guy is going to do. Basically, he is the main technical guy. Once the vulnerability has been acknowledged, or once any kind of threat has been acknowledged, he is the person everyone goes to solve it, like to put it into the actual sandbox environment. Or let's say you find some kind of malicious IPs, he is the one who should be looking into the IPs about what the IPs are for. It might be virtual IPs, it might be real IPs, no one knows except this guy. Okay,
okay.
fair enough. Any questions in this one?
So this
Yeah,
incident responder
yeah,
is is it a separate role
yeah,
to
he is
SOC
within the
analyst?
SOC team. So SOC team will comprise of all these people. You will have a SOC analyst, you'll have a SOC manager, you'll have a threat hunter, you will have an incident responder, and finally you will have one more guy about whom I'm going to talk about, who is basically the compliance auditor.
Okay, understood.
These are the five people. SOC Analyst, SOC Manager, Incident Responder, then you have Threat Hunter, and the Compliance Auditor. These 5 people make up a SOC team. Okay. Any doubts?
Mm,
Any doubts in this one? So we have 5 people. We need
right.
these 5 people to create a SOC team. So we
Okay. Basic.
have one from each minimum.
Minimum. Yeah.
Yeah. So there will not be at least one SOC analyst. There will be at least more than 5 to 10 SOC analysts working in a SOC team. 2 to 3 managers, let's say 3 to 4 incident responders, 2 to 3 threat hunters, compliance auditor. I mean, auditors are really what? How do I put it? Really hard to find a good compliance auditor, and they charge a lot of money. So only one guy is enough in a compliance team, like from the compliance team. Okay.
So what does the compliance auditor do?
So let's say if you have just let's say you do not have a SOC team. Okay. You hired some guys to look into your department and figure out what is wrong with the department. Basically, you are outsourcing your SOC. Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
Let's say I am a company who makes video games. I might not have people who are going to check the security of my video games. I might hire some people to do that, like companies who provide that as services. So let's say SOC as a service is advertised. I go to the advertisement and I say that, okay, I want you to perform a SOC review on my network and let me know if my network is up to the mark or not. What the compliance auditor is going to do, this guy is going to throw in all the compliances and check whether they're compliant to things or not. If you're a product based company, you should follow SOC 2. SOC 2. This is a certification or a compliance or a benchmark that you need to follow. Basically, this will fall under the what do I call it? Um, GRC,
Yeah.
governance, risk, and compliance. So you need to have SOC 2 if you're a product-based company. If you're handling important data of a customer, you need to have uh, GDPR. If you're working in healthcare, you need to have HIPAA. Okay. So these are some compliance that you need to follow. So the compliance auditor moves with the SOC team and is going to map all your controls or your audit controls, whether they are set in place or not. Okay.
Mhm.
Any doubts in this one?
Um,
Yes, go on if you
so
will ask me.
this compliance auditor, so they must have it in the SOC team. Yeah.
Uh, this compliance, which compliance are you talking about? The SOC 2?
Oh, no. SOC 2 is a report. Just the role, the fifth person, the compliance auditor.
Yes.
So every SOC team, must every SOC team have a compliance auditor, or can
Yes, that
they?
is important. Yes, you have to have a SOC, this compliance auditor.
Yes, to map the controls and the
Ye-
alignment of what they're doing.
Yes.
Okay, okay, makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
So
Then this
okay.
GRC, HIPAA, oh,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah,
So
I've
those
put
are examples of the so regulatory requirements that the compliance auditor will be assessing and making sure what the SOC team is doing is aligned to those requirements, like HIPAA
Yes,
for health.
exactly.
Okay. In GRC, because me, I think I do kind of GRC, so governance, risk, compliance. So that
Yeah.
is more of governance is the oversight for the senior management. So,
Okay.
you have a tool that you use to log all the risk and log, the project activities, then do reviews of those risks. So, against compliance to standards and regulations, really, yeah. So that's absolutely fine. So I didn't know that the SOC team must have a compliance audit. I thought the
Yeah,
business,
the SOC team must have a compliance auditor. Like that is really important for them. So let's say the SOC team forgets to check for some, let's say the SOC team is going to check for the firewall. Okay. So let's
yeah,
suppose firewalls must have some sort of security, this, what do you say, queries set in place so
yeah,
that employees are not allowed to open, let's say, any NFSW websites, just for
yeah,
example. So the compliance auditor has to make sure that the line has been put. But the
yes,
SOC guys, they're only going to go, like the analyst, the manager, the incident responders, they're going to go and check whether the firewall has been properly installed or not. Like the traffic
yes,
is to the firewall or not. But it is the work of the GRC guy to make sure that the links are blocked. Or let's say any kind of, let's say, mm, just for example, so you are in the United Kingdom, right?
yeah.
United Kingdom has like their fair share of enmity with Russia, right?
Sorry, say that again.
Kingdom has their enmity with some, like Cold War going on with the Russia, right?
Yes, yes, of course they have, like, yeah,
So, do you think the government will allow any kind of this
traffic.
United Kingdom citizen to work under a Russian company? No, right?
No, 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 no,
Even if
no,
you're
that's,
working remotely, the government has to make sure that that set of rule has to be set, that you are not allowed to open any Russian websites, you are not allowed to work remotely for a Russian company. So these are the controls that will be checked by the
yeah,
compliance auditor.
yes, yes, yes,
That even that falls under SOC 2. Why? Because uh, let's say I am in the UK and I am working under a Russian company. Some point of time, no one can guarantee that I won't turn against my own country. Why? Because
that's true.
there is this feud going on between Russia and UK, right? This whole
Yeah,
NATO thing.
yeah,
And just remove United Kingdom and just take this Ukraine, for example. So even that is going to happen.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just hold on, I need to plug in my charger. Okay, it's done.
okay.
Next, we are going to have a look at SOC models. Okay, what does SOC models mean? There are a few SOC models. Okay, first is a centralized SOC. Where is my pen? I'll explain one by one. Centralized SOC. The second is most probably a distributed SOC. Third is hybrid SOC. And we have one more, managed SOC. Okay. Any ideas about what these terms mean?
Centralized, distributed, hybrid, managed. So managed SOC might be outsourced.
Yes, exactly.
Then
Managed
hybrid,
by an external entity.
yeah.
Okay, what is hybrid? Just
So
take a while.
hybrid might be managed by the company and the external shared.
Not quite.
Oh, okay. I don't know that
So,
one.
okay. Centralized SOC, I will say. Centralized SOC, basically all the people work from the same location. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Distributed SOC works in the same company but different locations.
Okay, okay.
So these guys might have a headquarter. They don't have a headquarter. The only one office that they work in is the headquarter. Correct?
Okay,
But
okay.
hybrid SOC takes resources from both. How do I put it? Let's say they might have office in the same place, but some of the people might be working remotely through this office only. I won't have multiple offices. I will have a single office, but people from multiple places might work remotely. So basically this will be flexible. Why? Because let's say a SOC has work hours. So let's say he works from 10 to 3 maybe. From 2:30 to let's say 6:30, another guy comes in, right?
Yeah.
There is a gap of like PM. Okay, this one is PM, this is AM, this is PM, this is PM. So 30 minutes before this guy leaves, there is another guy waiting for him so that he can take the place and this guy will leave. Correct. There has to be a discussion among what are the things that he should take care of. Let's say guy one, guy one, guy two. Okay. So let's say guy one has found some interesting things. He wants to look at it later. So he wants guy two that okay, these are the IPs or these are the websites you should have a look out for. Correct. If that happens, what happens? There is an exchange of communication between both of them. Guy two has to come to office so that guy one can tell him if they're working in a centralized stock or even in distributed stock because they will have multiple offices around worldwide, right? But what happens if they're working from home? Guy one, if he finds out something, he can immediately call guy two and say, okay, my man, when your shift is going to start, you should be on the lookout for these few things already given you. So whenever I log out, you just log in and check these. Okay. Hello.
Okay.
So this happens. Basically, this is more flexible and based on specific needs. So let's say I have one single location. I do not have to pay a huge amount of fee, rent for different offices. People are working from home. Most of them might be. So I don't have to pay a higher, what to say, of for a bigger office space. Like most of them are working from home. Then let's say there will be very less electric costs, internet bills, everything will be low, right? So
Mm.
this is why hybrid SOC is also followed by some people. And managed SOC, when let's say you are providing SOC as a service and the service is taken by someone, you are basically doing the work of a managed SOC. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts? Any
Can you
doubts?
throw more light on distributed SOC?
Sorry?
The distributed SOC. Can you
Or
like give
okay.
a little explanation about it again? Like,
Yeah. So distributed SOC, they will have, let's say this is the New York office. This office is in, let's say, London. This office is, let's say, in India.
Mhm.
This office is, let's say, in Germany. Okay. What
Mhm.
happens now? They have different offices, they have hired different people, but they're looking for the same thing. Let's say I'm talking about offices of, name a big company, any big company. Let's say Disney, for example. Okay. Let's say Disney has their SOC offices set in New York, London, India, and Germany. What happens? They are eventually going to have to look at Disney.com, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they're doing it from multiple locations. They will have problems in interacting with each other. Let's say this guy is working on one case, this guy might also work in the same case. This guy might have no clue on what to work on, and this guy might be looking at the completely different place. What happens when you are in the same office? You interact with each other, right? Like, I have found this, I'm working on this. If I need help, I'll be asking you guys. If not, you should be looking on other things, right? So this problem arises a lot of times. Like, if you are working in a MNC and if you are working in a same project, you need to have a very, very, very clear connection for you to make the project work. If not, you have to put on several mails, you have to follow a specific mail chain and get everything done within the second. Let's say you finish something, and if you're working on something else, you will have to let everyone know that you're working on this and not that. So you have to follow a lot of, like, you need to be very careful about who you are informing and who you are not informing, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So this is basically distributed SOC.
Okay. Okay.
But this also helps, right? Let's say, just let me have some water. Okay, as I was saying, why this model is followed basically. Let's say now it's 12 a.m. in India, right? It's 12:02 a.m. in India. People are going to sleep now. Like, normal average people, they go to sleep. Like, let's say a person who has nothing to do will be sleeping by this time. But what time is it in London?
6:32.
6:32 p.m., right?
Yeah.
So the time I will be logging off, the guy from London will be logging in. Now he has 6:32 to 12 a.m. to work, 6 hour shift, let's say. Now, what time is it in Canada?
1:33
1:33.
p.m. Yeah.
Say Canada. Now, by the time this Anthony's time gets, let's say, 12 a.m., what will be your time? Like, that will be evening right there, right?
Mhm.
So a person from Canada will start working. By the time it gets night in Canada, it will be morning in India. So the Indian guy can take over the work. So basically,
Okay.
it's for flexibility of this as well. So the time, like, what? How do I call it? The
24 hours.
yeah, you have to be on 24 hours, like one guy or
Yeah.
the other. But
Yeah.
this
So
time cycle will be managed efficiently.
yes, yes, yes. Distributed SOC. So it's possible.
Yeah.
So flex hybrid SOC. So if people work from home, do they do 24 hours as well? Is it efficient?
Yes. Hybrid SOC, I would say, is the most efficient one. Why
Okay, the
you ask?
most efficient.
Because you have one single office, you don't need to get into go to office and come back. Like, it's a very hectic task. Don't ask me, because I know, like, I have to travel 1 hour to work, 1 hour back, that too in a very, very, very crowded traffic of Bangalore. Like, I can go hours about traffic in Bangalore. Then when, let's say, after coming back from work, you won't have the energy to even cook sometimes. That also happens. I'm not talking about that. So if you're working from home, that's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
thing, correct? Second
Mm.
thing is, let's say you have a 6 hour shift, you do not waste time anywhere other than the 6 hours. You get the 6 hours done, you get the 1 hour for lunch. That's around five. Let's say I'll take 6 hours only. Let's say 6 hours of shift. The rest 24 minus 6 is equals to 18. You have 18 hours to play by. You need 8 hours of sleep, 10 hours, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if the same thing would have happened if you go to this office, minus 2 hours for going and coming, so that's around 8 hours. You would have different things when you go to office. When you come back, you need to wash your clothes and everything. So that is basically flexible here, correct? Next thing
Yeah.
is, you follow everything online. You don't have to say anyone. So let's say you, Ken and Anthony, both of you are working in the same company. After Ken goes to sleep, or after Ken's shift ends, Anthony, you take over, right? So Ken
Yeah.
has to inform you everything via any voice note, any kind of mail, verbally, anything. But when you're working online, everything will be recorded on meetings, video meetings, maybe on Zoom, maybe on Skype, maybe on Teams, anything. So there you can say that, okay, I have addressed this to Ken, but Ken might not have listened to it. Ken can go home, think about it, or when he is coming to work, he can think about it. Okay, meeting was already recorded. Let me go through the recorded meeting. And okay, these are the pointers that he has made. I was really sleepy at the time. I couldn't listen. So this helps a lot, right?
Okay.
So you are prone to working efficiently when you are in a hybrid mode. Like, not all of them are working from home. Some of them are still in office, but most of them are working from home.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Any doubts in this one
Oh,
as well?
no, no. Decentralized SOC in the same location. Do they do 24 hours? Is it efficient?
It is efficient, but the thing is, just let's talk about this. Okay. I'll delete it. Centralized stop. Okay, let's say it's the same office. Okay, the office space has to be big first. Okay, one more thing will be, there people have they have to hire people who are willing to relocate. Let's say I am in India. I want to work at a SOC company who follow a centralized model, a centralized SOC. Then I will have to relocate to the US, correct? Or UK, wherever the company is, right? If I relocate there, they will have to pay me. Let's say, just for example, I will say, like, the UK pound is greater or the Canadian dollar? Which one?
I think pounds might be.
1 pound equals how much American dollars?
I'm not sure, but it might be maybe 1.2 or 1.4.
Okay, 1.2 American dollars.
Yeah, just almost the
And
same.
Ken, what is the value of pound? Sorry, the Canadian dollars?
Yeah, the same. Yeah.
Canadian dollars to what?
Canadian dollars to the US dollars.
So, okay, I think it's
1 Canadian dollar is how much US dollars? Around
at 0.7.
okay, 7. So you see the difference, right?
No,
If let's say the company is present in Canada and people are coming from the US, UK, they will have to pay more average salary than they were giving to Canadian citizens, right? Why? Because ultimately Canadian dollar value is less, way less, correct?
Mhm.
So let's say he was paying around $100 to 100 Canadian dollars to one guy. Okay, guy A maybe. Now he has to pay at least the American equivalent to that guy. So that would be 100 into 0.7. You get my point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be around mm, that is $70
So,
extra.
70, yeah.
170. $170. So company is paying $70 extra to the other guy, right? Let's say they hired like 20 Canadians. So 20 into 70, that's around 7201400. And that's in a month, 1400 Canadian dollars per month. They're paying extra. If they go to the UK, that will be 0.7 into 1.2, way larger. So this is mostly followed by like the countries who don't want to hire, or the companies who don't want to hire people from outside their country. That's one. Also, if we are using a centralized SOC, what happens is you need to turn your internet and your electricity 24/7 on. There should not be any kind of disruption, right?
So you need backups.
You need heavy backups, not just backups.
Inverter.
Because let's say 500 employees are present at the building at any point of time during the day, on night. Okay,
Yeah.
so they will require coffee to work, they will require electricity to work, proper internet connection, laptop charging, and everything. So you understand, right, the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that are the drawbacks of centralized SOC. But what happens in centralized SOC is why people still use it. Basically, people come here, people talk, like people interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
And then they have this, what to say, uh, thing called, most of the times they'll hire some people who stay at the office. In most of the SOC companies I've seen, most of the people, SOC people, they sleep at office only. Like they have so much work. And what happens is it follows a very toxic trait. Like you haven't visited your house in, let's say, 2 to 3 days. You are sleeping in office, you are working on something, network engineer was not available at the time. So this becomes hassle, a lot of hassle, but people still use it. Do you know any reason why people still use it?
What's that?
Do you know any reason why people still use it?
No,
The centralized stock, even though they have all these drawbacks.
I don't know. I don't think.
Because
Maybe.
things happen faster here. You
I
need
don't
to
think.
set up a meeting. If let's
Yeah.
say you are using the distributed model, you need to set up a meeting, you need to get the guys on the meeting, you need to wait for the call. But let's say any attack happens, if you're present in office, you will know immediately and you can fix it, like jumping, and like you will rip your hair off, right? Like if anything happens on the, like on a live basis, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So work gets done here faster. Even though there
Right.
are many like drawbacks, work will get done here faster because you have to
Right.
monitor everything live. If you're at home, there is a slight possibility that you might take a break. Maybe you have the habit of smoking, you can go outside for a smoke break. You can just go and take care of your dishes during work time. So it happens during work from home. But what it happens is when you go to office, you have this live thing that you're monitoring, and whenever any kind of thing happens, you will just jump, gather people, get it fixed immediately, right?
So how about which one is the bridge call? Is it
Sorry,
in the SOC? There is something they call bridge call. Like,
bridge.
so if there is an incident and if they're doing like incidents simulation, like
Okay.
if they want to test the incident process.
Okay.
So some of them say they do like a breach call. So what does that mean? Do you know about that?
Okay. So basically, what I think you are trying to tell is, so let's say they want to do a simulation, right,
Yes, of incidents,
of an
and
incident.
they want to test the incident plan.
So they want to catch the guy who occurred the incident, correct? So this is basically simulation.
Yeah,
So this guy breached into their security, correct?
yeah,
So you are saying that this is basically trying to find out who did the breach.
yeah.
So that for that we have this threat hunter, right? The role that you talked about.
Okay,
Because he's the one we go for, like he's the one who is going to come running after the manager after he finds something. Or do we have SOC analysts? If anything turns comes up in the logs, SOC analysts are going to look after it. But threat hunters, they actively look for everything. Like these guys are basically, if something comes up, only then we respond. Threat hunters are like,
hello, are you there? Hello.
I think his signal
Okay.
went off.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. I think the
Yeah,
network
yeah, I got
dropped.
disconnected due to some issues. I don't know. Oh, okay. So what was I saying? Yeah. Straight. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So
It's one
threat
second.
hunters are gonna be actively looking for any incidents that are happening. But if anything comes up in the logs, only then SOC analysts are going to look at it. Okay. So basically, threat hunters are like patrolling police cops or police cars that we see patrolling down the streets, and SOC analysts are like 911 calls. So if anything comes up, someone dials a 911, these guys come up. Like, okay, we have something in the logs, we need to take care of it. But threat hunters are like actively looking, okay, what is there here? What is this doing here? Why is this coming up here? Let's look for something else there. So these guys are actively looking, these guys are passively looking, that I can say. So both of them will be working together to find this guy. Like the breach event that you said was planned by a company to find out if someone has done a breach or not. So this basically happens.
Okay.
Okay. Any other
So
doubts?
SOC analyst
Yeah.
is looking, sorry, threat analyst is actively looking, then
Yeah.
SOC analyst is passive
Yeah.
looking, so reviewing the logs. But threat
Yes.
analyst is real time
No,
monitoring.
SOC analyst is real time. SOC analyst is
Sorry,
always real time. But threat
yes,
hunter, they will look actively. Let's say there is some
active.
infrastructure which needs special attention. Let's say there is some ICS environment that is present. Let's say this is a healthcare department, and you need to look for the ECU units or any kind of devices that are present which is highly critical. Okay.
Yeah.
So threat hunters will be assigned for that role. Other than that, all the other things like customer data, information, these are also critical, but not as critical as, let's say, which one is more dangerous. Let's say a customer's patient's what to say medical history getting leaked is more dangerous, or let's say he is on his like bed and his oxygen levels are getting controlled by the computer. this computer fails. Which one is more dangerous?
Yeah, yeah,
This one, right? Because he might
yeah.
die.
Yes.
If he has lost his data, some way or the other, we can recover it or do something about it. Correct?
Okay.
So threat hunters are assigned to do this, look after this, so that this computer doesn't go down no matter what. And SOC analysts are assigned to look after the data.
Right. Okay.
If
Okay.
anything is critical, then threat hunters are going to take care of it. If not, then SOC analysts are going to sit at it.
Okay.
Okay, any other doubts?
No, no.
No. Thank you. That's quite
Okay.
fun.
So we have the next topic, which is just hold on, syllabus. Second. Okay. Mm, we have entry level trainings, certifications, and job demand. Okay. There are a lot of SOC entry level trainings. If I talk about it, like you have uh, EC Council, certified SOC analyst. Okay, I'll type in the full name. The first one being EC Council, certified SOC analyst. Okay.
Yeah.
Second is certified Splunk analyst.
Oh, certified Splunk analyst. Okay.
Yeah. Third is certified solar winds engineer. Okay. Fourth is certified Splunk engineer. So these are four of the most important entry level certifications in cybersecurity, like SOC, not cybersecurity, SOC. Okay. Why do we need certifications? Let's say you have done a certification, you go to a client and say that I have a certification in Splunk. Let's say I'm a certified Splunk analyst. If the customer asks, what do I do with that information? Like, how is it important to me? How are you going to answer that question? You can answer this question by saying Splunk is a product, right? It is sold by a company. I have taken up an exam, cleared the exam, and now I know how to operate the tool Splunk. Like, I am an exam certified guy who has a certificate showing that I am authorized and I know all the things that are present in Splunk. Right? Let's say some guy has learned it on his own and he has no certification. If something goes wrong, you cannot blame him. Why? Because he has no certification. He does not hold any kind of credibility or any kind of degree of information. Correct? Like, if let's say you hire someone who has no SOC certification, he messes up really bad. Can you do anything about it? If even if you file a police complaint against him, or if you file a court case against him, you will be the one who will be asked questions. You know why?
Is it a requirement that they must be certified, or
No,
is it just okay?
no. So the guy, let's say the judge is going to ask you that, okay, before hiring him, did you know that this guy had no knowledge in Splunk or he did not have a certificate in Splunk? that he is certified to handle things like this? You will say no, right? Then it will be your fault, and you will have to pay money for the to the person whom you provided SOC services, right? But if you're SOC certified, you will have a certificate which in turn will not put you in place. So if this guy messes up, he can say that, okay, I have learned about this in my exam. This was done in this way. And if he messes up, he is the one who will be held accountable for his own actions. Okay? Hello?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Any doubts in this one? So this is why we need certificates. Like I was not a big fan of certificates until I knew about this, and now I am the one who is pursuing certificates. Like I have been in the industry for around 4 years, but I haven't done a single certificate. But now I am running for certificates to get them done. And also, if you are done with, like, if you have done any kind of certificates, and if the this, what do I call it, if the person or the VP or the chairman you are talking to of a company is actually has some kind of information, okay, what is a certification and why people do it, he will give you more credibility. Okay, that this guy has sat in an exam, cleared the exam, and then he has gotten a certificate, and now he can claim that he knows at least something. Between you and a guy with no certification, he will prefer you. Why? Because he will say that, okay, he's a certified guy, he knows how to get things done, and the product itself has given him the certification that, okay, this guy can work using our product. But the guy who doesn't have certification can't prove anything. It's just his word against someone else's, right? So this basically happens. If you have any doubts, you can go on and ask me. So with this, your module 1 comes to an end. From tomorrow, we will be starting on the more like half theory, half practical part. Like we'll be talking about the CIA triad, the major cyber threats. We'll be talking about malware types. We'll discuss them with labs as well. We'll talk about Wireshark. We'll use Wireshark. Basically, half theory, half practical. We are going to start from the next day on. So today, I think the time is done for today. And from tomorrow on, I would say, okay, just one more thing. I would ask both of you to have at least one Linux VM. You can use Kali. You can use Ubuntu. You okay, Ubuntu. You can use Fedora. You can use Debian. Anything except Arch. You can have any Linux VM. Just keep it installed. If you don't know
So
how to install it, just go through YouTube. It's a very simple process, and try using VMware. Sorry, VirtualBox.
Yeah, I already have VirtualBox.
Okay, so in VirtualBox, at least download one Linux VM, install it, keep it installed because we are going to need it. So most of the tools we are going to be working with are present in Linux. They are in Windows as well, but I prefer using the Linux tools because they work better when they are used in Linux environment.
Okay.
Okay. So with this, we'll get started on the practical part tomorrow, and hopefully we will end module 2 really soon, and then we are going to look at module 3. Okay.
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 So that will be it for today. Thank you for joining today, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
have a great evening and have a great afternoon, both of you.
All
Have a
right.
great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.